Welcome to week 11 of the Black and Blue Huddle. I'm your host, Alyssa Ray. A conference opponent on tap this weekend for the Panthers, hosting the Falcons at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Atlanta had a huge upset over New Orleans. Can they pull off another W at Carolina? And the Panthers fell short, literally, of getting a win at Green Bay. And a look back at the comeback that wasn't. Elijah Holyfield grew up with a famous father. How the rookie running back is looking to make a name for himself. And one vehicle roaming the Panthers tailgates is a showstopper. The Falcons had one win going into the New Orleans game and came out with win number 2. They come in with a lot of momentum, but is it enough to pull it off again in Charlotte? Chris Clark has more.
Falcons and Panthers games are always a brawl. Division opponents, they know each other's tendency all too well. To put it in boxing terms, Atlanta historically came at the Panthers like old school George Foreman, big, physical, and direct.
Braces, knees buckled.
This year, the Falcons look more like old man George, but don't forget, he packed a punch as well.
Michael Moore is down, goes Moore on a right hand.
Atlanta has been struggling, and they, beat the team that's leading the division right now at home. That's a big confidence boost, so we know they got a lot of momentum going into this game.
Atlanta will be without tight end Austin Hooper and running back Devontae Freeman, but KG veteran quarterback Matt Ryan seems to find a way to make it work.
He pretty much knows the defense. That's what happens when you play a division opponent. You know each other, so we know their offense and they know our defense, so he knows how to attack us.
The one player Atlanta can always depend on to give the Panthers problems needs only one name to be recognized.
You first got to try to limit Julio. That's the go-to guy. We got to be able to get hands on him and try to eliminate him any way we can. So I figure that's the first step.
The biggest issue for Carolina isn't the men in red and black, but rather the man in the mirror. The defense has racked up an impressive 36 sacks, but they're 27th in the NFL in rushing yards allowed.
We just can't allow them to run the ball. It's simple. They coming in our house. We know that's what they want to establish. Played for Dirk for 3 years. I know, his mentality.
We've had some explosive runs this past couple weeks, but you don't want to overcompensate and give up the explosive plays in the past. So you just got to find a middle ground and try to work your way around it.
All season, Ron Rivera has been bombarded with questions regarding Cam Newton. Will he play? Is he rehabbing? What's the timetable? Well, with QB1 placed on IR, the attention has turned to Kyle Allen, and Rivera spoke highly of his quarterback in this week's Chalk Talk.
Probably the thing that was really impressive was that he didn't try to force into bad situations. You saw him pull the ball down. You saw him scramble a little bit. You saw him dump it out of bounds when he had to. So I think, again, this is all part of his growth as he grows through it. And that's really the neat thing because, again, the thing we really can't forget is that he has started 7 games for us this season and has done a nice job. So, again, he's just going to continue the process of his growth. I think it's very important. I think not just for a player early in his career, but throughout his career. I mean, and that's one of the things that guys have to do. You got to handle it. And he's a guy I think that has been in some situations where he's had the target on his back, and dealing with it in an appropriate manner I think is important. It is part of your growth, and being able to control yourself and stay composed is whether you're on the field or off the field. I think is important, and I think he's done a nice job with it. And that's why you bring a guy back that you had in camp, and we were fortunate. Corn was still on a practice squad with the Giants, working with them, so he was ready to roll. Bringing him back because he knows our system, so his transition back should be seamless. And that's really what you want. Is you want guys to be able to say, man, if we do our job, if we just do a little bit more and give him a chance, he'll give us a chance to win. And that's really what you're looking for, is you want guys that will be out on the football field that will give the team a chance. And when he does that, when he shows that he has that kind of ability with a little bit more help or effort, a little something extra from somebody, I think you can really get that across to the guys. Who knows what can happen.
We need to take our first time out, but when we come back, we take a look back at the snowy ending to the Packers game and sit down with our NFL insider about playoff hopes next on Black and Blue Huddle. Welcome back to the Black and Blue Huddle. I'm Alyssa Ray alongside our NFL insider Mark Thomas. And Mark, the Panthers fell just short to the Packers, but Kyle Allen threw for more than 300 yards with 2 turnovers. What do you think of his performance?
Well, I thought it was good, but not great. And let's be honest about it. When you play on the road in the NFL, 3 things you have to have, okay? So aside from what Kyle Allen has going on, let's look at those 3 things. First of all, you got to be able to run the football. You go on the road, you run the football, takes the crowd out of it, allows your defense to rest on the sideline. Second of all, you got to play good defense. Okay, the defense has got to show up, got to shut down the other team. But thirdly, you can't turn the football over. And let's be honest, hey, you throw for 300 yards, that's great for your fantasy football team if you have Kyle Allen, but you're not. Yeah, just a few. But you're not going to get the win because you can't turn it over, and especially getting hit where you're turning it over. A lot of that had to do with the offensive line, had to do with Kyle Allen protecting the football, making some good throws at the appropriate times. And I felt like he played well enough for this team to win, but it wasn't that great elite level on the road performance that you've got to be able to have to be able to come out of Lambeau with a victory.
Yeah, well, we know that the Falcons had a massive upset over the Saints on Sunday. Do you think they'll carry that momentum into Charlotte this weekend?
Well, no, because I think the Panthers are going to be able to do what the Saints weren't able to do, which is shut down the running game of the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are one of the top NFL passing leaders when it comes to throwing the football. Matt Ryan injured a little bit, comes back and doesn't even throw for 300. Heck, he doesn't even throw for 200 yards. Against New Orleans, they were able to run the football, play good defense, and hit the quarterback. So, no, I don't think it carries over. I think that they're thinking that they're kind of getting things moving back in the right direction and kind of hoping for another big road victory. But I just don't think they have that formula this week, especially because you don't have Devontae Freeman. He's going to be out for the next couple of weeks, so I don't think Brian Hill's good enough.
Right, and along those lines, the Falcons had a pretty balanced offense against the Saints. After seeing the Panthers' poor run defense, do you think that they'll take advantage of that and maybe rush the ball a little more?
Well, I think they're going to want to. I think, again, that formula, you got to run the football on the road. But the thing about the Panthers changing from 4-3 to 3-4 defense, it allowed them to put more pressure on the quarterback and hit the quarterback more is how you shut down a good passing game. But it does open you up for some running lanes. And the Panthers, definitely not the run defense that we've seen over the last couple of years. But I think because you're not seeing the superstars, you're not seeing Devontae Freeman, you're seeing a Brian Hill. They're banged up a little bit. Tight end out. So I think because of the injuries for the Falcons, that'll allow guys. Well, Luke Kuechly, let's be honest about it, the leader of this defense, to show up and make some plays.
Yeah, and Julio Jones, of course, we've heard the name. He's just short of 800 receiving yards this season alone. How does the Panthers secondary keep him contained? Well,
you keep him contained by what we talked about earlier. You gotta go after Matt Ryan. You got to hit the quarterback. You got to put pressure on him. You've got to put him in difficult situations where you're at 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and long, because when you do that, you get predictable opportunities as far as throws. Hey, don't get me wrong, Julio is amazing. This guy, big physical receiver, can catch the ball in traffic, but when your safeties are able to help out because they're in obvious passing situations, that allows your pass rusher to pin their ears back, go after the quarterback, hit Matt Ryan, and I think that's how you kind of shut down a Julio Jones.
How crucial is it for the Panthers to pick up a win to even be in playoff conversations?
Well, let's look at what the Falcons did last weekend. They were able to take out New Orleans. Look, I just think wild card is a little too difficult right now to be able to get. So you got to win the division. Now, you get 2 shots against New Orleans, and Atlanta was able to go in to Louisiana down there and beat them. So they're a beatable type team, but you've got to win this game because you're right, teetering on the edge of, are you a playoff team? Are you not? Yeah. And you got to do it by doing one very important thing. And let's be real about it.
Win.
They got to win.
Yeah.
And now is the time.
I know that answer.
You got it. You got
yes.
it. Yeah, got to be able to win.
Yeah. Last question.
Yep.
Who you got?
Well, I want to say that the Panthers get this thing done because I believe in them. I do hope.
After last week, yeah.
But I think the very important stat that you have to remember, the Panthers, when they lose, -7 in turnover margin. When they win, they're +11 Protect the football, play smart, get it into the hands of your playmakers, play off your home crowd, dominate the line of scrimmage, and attack Matt Ryan. I think they're going to be able to do that, and they're going to get this win. I think getting that 6th win, getting that you are a playoff team type attitude is going to allow this team to play well down the stretch.
All right, Mark, thank you.
Thank you.
With Cam Newton on injured reserve, the Carolina Panthers' playoff hopes now lie in the hands of second-year quarterback Kyle Allen. And based on what we've seen so far, that may not be a bad thing. He certainly is not as dynamic as Newton, and he's turned the ball over too many times, but he's also given the team hope. Sunday in the swirling snow at Lambeau Field, Allen nearly led his team to victory in one of the toughest venues in the NFL. We touch on that and more in this week's edition of Game Changers.
The more starts I get under the belt, the more experience I have, the more mistakes I make, the more I learn from them. But at the same time, I know I'm a young guy, but I'm the quarterback of this team. I can't be doing that. This is a very talented team, and when we play clean football, we can win a lot of games. And it doesn't matter what age I am. It doesn't matter how many starts I have to play clean football, or else it's not fair to this team. And for me to turn the ball over twice, it put us in bad position, and I think at the end of the day, that's the main reason why we lost is turnovers. I think that's the biggest thing in the league, and for us to have 2 and them to have 0 is a big reason why they won.
Close, but not good enough. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. It's a matter of inches. We had chances to make plays and we didn't. We missed some tackles. We missed some blocks. And you can't expect to win football games, especially against really good football teams. I got a lot of confidence in all the guys we have. You know, I got a lot of confidence in our play callers. Again, this is one of those things that it truly was a matter of inches.
Yeah, I mean, I love the play call. I mean, I think if you saw it at the snap, there was a hole there, and I mean, Christian's the best player on our offense. He's touted MVP. So our last play of the game on the 2-yard line, let's give him the ball. I love the play call, but just got to get it in.
He had an interesting day. I thought he did the things we needed him to do to give us a chance at the end, at least. You know, and again, he's continuing to grow. Let's not forget, this is pretty much like a rookie year for him. He's done some really good things, though.
And now with Newton out of the picture, Allen does not have to look over his shoulder. Just go out and play. The Panthers are probably a long shot to make the playoffs this season, but at least Allen's surprisingly good play has kept them in the running. For the Black and Blue Huddle, I'm Todd Gibson.
All right, thank you, Todd. Here's a look at the NFC South standings. New Orleans still sits at the top at 7-2, followed by the Panthers and Bucks. The Falcons in the cellar, and at 2-7, they are playing with nothing to lose, as you saw in their win over their rival New Orleans on Sunday. Each week, we highlight one play that may have been the best play, may have been the worst play, and sometimes it's the play that could have changed the outcome of the game. And that is the case this week. 4 seconds left in regulation. Kyle Allen gives it to the beast in the backfield, Christian McCaffrey. His lineman tries to help him out, but the officials say he did not cross the plane. The Panthers fell just short of a touchdown that would have put them in position to tie it if they were successful on a 2-point conversion, but they never got that opportunity. Once again, like Tampa Bay at home, losing a game at the goal line.
You know, we had an opportunity. It was an RPO. And based on what Kyle had read, he went to hand the ball off. And again, you know, not to get into specifics, but he had a run pass option, and he gave it to our best player. Unfortunately, we missed a block, and that's really what happened on the play.
Kyle Allen had 2 turnovers in last weekend's loss to Green Bay, but despite that, he had a promising outing. He threw for more than 300 yards and a touchdown and put together a solid fourth-quarter drive while dealing with the elements.
Yeah, I'm obviously a lot more experienced in the game, and I just remember that was my first week even being active last year, and I was just stoked to be in a uniform, honestly. And then Taylor went down in the second quarter, and I didn't even have time to blink. I just had to go in and play, and it was cool. It was kind of like a welcome to the NFL moment, but obviously I've had a lot more starts now, a lot more playing time, and a lot more experience, and I'm a much different player than I was last year. I don't think there's anything special about the last 2 weeks. I think in this offense, you've heard it said before, the ball's going to find its way to the receivers based on which teams we're playing. And it's like Greg had a huge game last week, almost had 100 yards, and some weeks he's had 10, 15 yards, you know what I mean? It's just going to find your way depending on the scheme of the defense we're playing. But TJ's always been a solid, steady player for us. Strong hands, strong through his routes, can work off a press, can beat you over the top too, and so he's got a lot of talent. And I wouldn't say he's finding his way because he's been playing well all season. He's just been getting a lot of targets as of lately, I guess.
Up next on the Black and Blue Huddle, we talk with Elijah Holyfield one-on-one about what it's like being son of boxing great Evander Holyfield. But first, a trivia question. What was the Panthers' longest losing streak? The answer when Black and Blue Huddle returns. Welcome back. The trivia question, what was the Panthers' longest losing streak? It was 15 games. In 2001, Carolina won their season opener against the Vikings before losing every game for the rest of the season. Evander Holyfield is one of the biggest names in boxing. Nicknamed The Real Deal, Holyfield is a four-time heavyweight champion. His son Elijah is wearing that last name on his back with pride as he looks to make his own mark in the NFL.
Inherent in everyone is the drive to make a name for themselves. But what if greatness is already attached to your family moniker? Some athletes, like Peyton Manning, surpassed the on-field accomplishments of their fathers. Others, like Pete Rose Jr., did not. In both examples, the pressure to succeed was real and ever-present. But for Elijah Holyfield, his heavyweight last name was anything but a burden.
It's been real cool. It's a blessing to me. My dad doing what he did, so it's always been a blessing.
From an early age, it was evident Elijah would follow in his father's athletic footsteps, but he blazed his own trail. Instead of pounding opponents in the ring like his heavyweight champion pops, he would punish opponents on the gridiron as a running back.
I've just always loved it from when I understood it, learned the rules, and started playing when I was 4, and it's been my first love ever since.
Suiting up for Woodward Academy High School in Atlanta, Georgia, he rushed for 1,735 yards and scored 28 touchdowns. He turned the heads of numerous colleges, including Auburn, Tennessee, Alabama, and South Carolina. He stayed close to home, though, signing with UGA. The other guys in town, they were never an option.
Just never like that. Just never like Yellow Jackets or stuff like that. Always been a Bulldog guy, for sure.
He saw limited action in his first 2 seasons, but in his junior year, splitting time with DeAndre Swift, he went for over 1,000 yards on 159 carries with 7 touchdowns, and after the season, decided to go pro.
Just to competing every day, always with great players, and just working hard every day. We always keep the motto of keep chopping, and just keep working harder to be better than you were yesterday.
Signed by the Carolina Panthers as a free agent in April, he's been with the team ever since. This weekend, he faces his hometown Atlanta Falcons and his father's professed favorite team. Well, maybe not this weekend.
He'll be going for Carolina this week for sure.
If you have a question you would like us to ask the Panthers, let us know. Tweet me at @AlyssaRayTV. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Everybody knows half the fun of football games is the tailgate. We love to show you over-the-top food spreads, outlandish fans, and sometimes an off-road Panther-mobile that is sure to get your attention.
Panthers fan since when?
1995. I've missed 4 games in 25 years.
Keep pounding, boys!
It's a Polaris 900S 2015. From bumpers, roof, everything you see at the seats, harness seats, everything is aftermarket.
The question I need to ask is this thing street legal?
That would be incorrect.
Let's go.
I call Buggy 2, a Panther Pride buggy. There's a group that we ride with called Raising Cane. There's about 40 of us. Last weekend, we go to West Virginia, Kentucky, take a long weekend, go through the mountains, spend all weekend up there, have a big time, come home.
Who are we gonna beat?
We represent 2 states. Keep pounding, black and blue. It's all good. But what can you say? Just have a good time, you take it easy, and you're good to go.
Hashtag goals. I really need to get one of those. If you have a fan you'd like to nominate, tweet me at @AlyssaRayTV, and we will try our best to get your fan on air. That wraps it up for another week of the Black and Blue Huddle. For Chris Clark, Todd Gibson, and everyone behind the scenes that makes this show go, thanks for watching and keep pounding.